And for more, we're joined by Ahmed Banaf, a security expert and engineering professor at San Jose State University. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So I'll start with this first question. How does this partnership benefit these two high-profile AI companies when it comes to growing the industry as they continue to share data?
Well, that's a good question, Crystal. Here's the big picture. The algorithms are growing very fast. And in order for you to benefit from the algorithm, basically the programs like ChatGPT, you need a computing power. And the company that has the hardware to do that is Nvidia. Nvidia has been doing some kind of moves right or left. They have $5 billion invested in Intel a few days ago, and then we're talking now about almost $100 billion, which is mixed from the systems of Nvidia, which are the chips, plus some equity, so they can lock in one of the biggest customers in the AI world, which is OpenAI. Now the long run here is this is not going to be just for OpenAI. It's going to this kind of data center, which is, as you mentioned, guys, here about 10 gigawatts, which is about 8 million houses, which is the number of the houses in the state of New York and Florida together. This is how much power needed for a whole year. The key thing here is they can rent it, they can lease it to other businesses, and that can generate about $500 billion in the long run for Nvidia.
Wow. Yeah. So OpenAI can use Nvidia's AI semiconductors in its data centers, and to talk about how much of a difference that can make for OpenAI and what they're trying to achieve.
They're using the best chips in the market, and they are talking about the future chips. They have new chips from Nvidia that's coming in 2026 with something called Vera Rubin, which is the updated version. That's going to be faster. It's going to be more, complex, and that's going to run a lot of the algorithms of OpenAI. And OpenAI, just to train a program like ChatGPT 5, they spent over $1 billion for the training. Now, when you have systems like this, that's going to save a lot of money. At the same time, you are using the best hardware in the market.
Mm-hmm. Now, this all comes on the heels of an agreement by OpenAI to give Microsoft a $100 billion equity stake in its for-profit corporation. How concerned should we be about the loss of this competition in the AI space with all of these major investors, happening, these investments happening in each other?
They realize that none of them can face it alone. I mean, artificial intelligence is built on 3 pillars: the data, the hardware, and the algorithms. So when we talk about the companies like Microsoft and OpenAI, we're talking about, mixed of the, of the hardware, and which is the data center they have, and the software, which is OpenAI. Yes, it is concerning because this is something that the regulator is going to look at it and say, we are seeing that this is like a private club and nobody can get in because you guys are helping each other. So they know that the regulation or the regulators are looking at these kind of agreements.
Yeah, I mean, but Ahmed, it takes so much power. So much power has to be produced to power these AI data centers here. Are we going to reach a point where we're not able to produce enough energy to be able to power all of these systems?
Well, excellent point, Alex. I mean, now this is why Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are looking at nuclear power. They went to Pennsylvania, and I used to live in Pennsylvania. I know 3 Miles Island, the story of what happened at that area. Now they're trying to revive that area. The same thing in Virginia, and looking at some of the nuclear plant so they can have something called modular nuclear reactors where it can produce this kind of power, because the conventional one, like the gas, the oil, or these kind of things, it's going to get to the point where it is impossible for them to match the demand. We are looking at it when the data center now is coming at full capacity.
As the Bay Area is really, the Silicon Valley, really the birthplace of this industry and technology. I'm curious what you think about how this might impact regulations surrounding AI use.
It's going to open the eyes about the environment impact in this case, and also about the health of the grid we have in California, and the new energy that we're looking for. The administration is open for that. I mean, it's for them. We would like to be #1 in the world, regardless of how we're going to get there. So the regulation will be at the state level. If from California to other states, how that's going to impact them. And it's not just the power; it's also the water used for the cooling as a cooling system. A state like Iowa is really complaining about how much how much water is used to cool system from companies like Microsoft. Their data center is huge in that area. So we're going to see some kind of moves to trying to regulate it in a way that's not going to hurt the environment.
Yeah, you certainly have to talk about the environmental impact with all of these AI data centers here. But a significant investment here. We're seeing so much money poured into the AI space. Appreciate your perspective. Always good to have you on. I'm Ed Banafa from San Jose State. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you, Alex.